Women. What do you find most confusing about men? Scrolls through channels on TV. Sees movie. Does not know when it started. Has zero context about the plot. Watches the rest of the movie anyway. Why are guys so apprehensive about receiving gifts? Buddy, I found a cool pair of socks that looks like a shark is eating your foot, and I paid next to nothing for it. Why do you have to act like you now have to pay for my college tuition? Can I not just gift guys things for fun? Reciprocity and escalation. How they make friends with everyone. Seriously, I was at work and saw two guys get in a massive screaming match, almost fighting. I grab security, and when we go to check it, the two guys are standing and laughing. They weren't even friends. They didn't know each other before that night, and suddenly they're best buds. That guys can go from fighting and beating each other up to suddenly being back to friends. Are you guys really friends? Is it just taking frustration out on each other? What is it and how? Two things. One is yes, usually it's just pent up frustration / anger, and once it's dealt with things go back to normal. Two is it's very easy for guys to become and remain friends. If we share just one common interest, we'll get along just fine. Why is it that if I send you a message that has 3+ parts, you only respond to the least important part? If I'm like, hey, I saw our mutual friend while running errands. Let me know what you want for dinner, I'm about to go pick it up. And did you take out the trash? I get a response that says, oh yeah Dave, haven't seen him in a while. Why some of the guys I know turning completely different people when around their friends. I've seen women do it as well, but never that big of a 180 as the men I know. Essentially, men try to fit in with each other we take in a situation and generally conform into one attitude because that's the norm for that specific group. Most guys don't want to be seen as weird / different. Why they will throw their clothing on the floor next to the hamper when there is a perfectly good hamper right next to them. Baffling. Because I want to wear it again later. If it goes into the hamper, I've admitted defeat and will have to wash them sooner. What is up with having friends that give you shit and attitude and it's all good? It's like you all like to torment each other and laugh about it. Not all men, just the ones I know. Ripping on each other is how our caveman brains are satisfied, since we can't just beat each other up to establish group hierarchy. What's the deal with guys not wanting to use lotion or chapstick? Every guy I've dated thus far has denied my offer for lotion or chapstick when they complain about having chapped lips and dry skin. I absolutely hate the greasy feeling of that stuff. Whether or not they are into a woman. Swear to God, one day they can display evidence of attraction, then the next it's like a switch went off and they want nothing to do with you. I've realized over the years sometimes it's just a bad day for them and not about me at all. However, I still can't read them, lol. Can't speak for everyone, being a shy, socially awkward male, but I find showing interest in women difficult. I basically start second guessing everything. Is she being nice to me because she just doesn't want to be rude? She talks but only when I initiate conversation, so am I just pestering her, etc. I don't consider myself handsome, nor do I think my outward personality is particularly engaging. So I guess that attractive women aren't interested in me. I mean, I have a younger sister, and now that she is older I see the amount of men who message her as friends who she doesn't exactly like, but isn't rude to. I guess I never want to be in that position, so the second a reply is disinterested or too short, or whatever, that seed of doubt starts, and you back off, hoping that the woman offers a sign that you should continue. So yeah, society is confusing. Haha. Why does it take you so long to poop? Do you not have enough fiber in your diet? Our man poops unfathomably large to a woman and just takes so much effort to pass? Maybe you're just sitting there playing on your phone. Most men I've met spend at least half an hour each time pooping. If a woman spent a half an hour on the toilet, you'd be worried she passed out in there or something. Because it's another world. You get to be alone. No one telling you to do things or asking you questions. It's our safe space. I haven't noticed this with girls, but I have noticed that my husband will just like stare out into space with severe concentration, and I'll be like, what's wrong babe? And he will say something like, if all of our pets attacked me at once, do you think I could fight them off? I've seen other guys do this too. It's just so fascinating. We have a medium pit mix, a small chihuahua mix, 2 ferrets and a hamster. So the answer was probably yes, unless he was asleep, then maybe the medium dog could best him. A guy asked my friend for her number. He never called. Something similar happened to me. Why even bother getting someone's phone number? Edit. In my case, we texted and agreed to meet up on a certain day and grab drinks. Fast forward, on said day, a Friday, he all of a sudden texts me, saying that he has to work now, because his colleague called in sick. He works in a bar. He tells me he's going to message me on Monday, so we could set something up again, but he never did. I'm assuming he got nervous, or met someone else. He sobered up. How they absolutely refused to ask for help. Back when we had no smartphones, we were trying to find my friend's street, and this guy I was with preferred to walk aimlessly for 30 minutes before I had enough and dared to ask someone for directions. Why men rarely ask for further detail. Husband and friend make plans to have a games night starting 5 PM at friend's place. That's all the info covered. Should we bring any games? It is at dinner time. Are we eating there? Are we meant to bring food? How many people are we feeding? Who is going to be there? Nothing. He knows nothing. What always confused me about my fiancé is how he doesn't know anything about his family or friends. I asked him why his parents moved to our city we lived in now. It's a small town, so I'm always curious how people end up here, and he's like, I don't know. So I went and asked his mom what brought them here, and she went into this whole thing about how, when they got out of the Navy, Mike, fiancé dad, got an opportunity to be a partner in a company down here. My fiancé sat there, slack jaw, and said, I just thought dad worked for that company. I didn't know he was part owner. We have had several of these types of moments in the past 6 years we've been today. It just amazes me. He doesn't think to ask just basic questions. Why are so many of you so into cars? I just don't get it. You don't need to go 0 to 100 in 3 seconds when you live in the suburbs. Actually, no one who isn't a race driver needs to go that fast. Also kinda odd how you can be in the middle of a conversation and get distracted like, yeah, work was okay, and I had this really big OMG look Air Lamborghini presentation, but I think it went okay. Edit. I'm not saying it's a bad thing. Just that the fascination confuses me, which is what the question was about. It's a huge metal box that travels faster than we are biologically capable, and it's powered by explosions. How can you not enjoy cars? I will never understand my husband's lack of deductive reasoning with his own body. For example, he always complains he's tired in the middle of the day. He never eats breakfast, so I'll make him a smoothie as I'm making mine in the morning. He drinks it without complaint. That night, hey husband, how did you feel today? Were you tired? No, I had so much energy. It was awesome. Next morning, hey husband, here's your smoothie and a small lunch sandwich, so you're not tired. I don't eat rabbit food. That night, how was your day? Awful. I was so tired and drained. Eats nothing but mashed potatoes and fried chicken? I've always wanted to know this. Like how us straight females talk about other females about how attractive they are. Do men do the same? Like if a straight man sees a good looking guy, do they think to themselves that they look attractive, or they just don't see it? It depends on the guys, but typically no. For a lot of guys, if they say that, then there is a fear that their brothers will say something along, what are you, gay? Despite them knowing they aren't. It is becoming a lot more common now though. The way you totally geek out about something when you like it. Like when you like a band. A girl usually knows the band, which kind of music they play, and which songs she like. A guy, when he likes a band, he knows every band member's full name, their life story, how long it took them to learn their instruments, their childhood trauma, where they were when they made this and that song, why they chose their band name, etc. Not saying no girls do this, or all guys, but it's like most guys totally geek out when they find something they like. I think it's awesome that you do. Edit. The band here is just a general example of men geeking out, as this is what I have seen most often. Can be anything that one find interesting. They don't really express what's in their mind. They don't bother to explain what is going on in their head. And when we ask what are they thinking about, they say nothing at all. And because mind is never empty, we girls don't believe that they are not thinking anything at all. Sometimes, it literally is nothing, just zoning out or being immersed in the present. Sometimes, we have a trail of thought going on, but it's totally unimportant and not worth the effort to explain. Sometimes, we are freaking out about every single life decision we've ever made, but don't want to concern other people with it.